Hello, everybody. Today I would like to talk about sports. And let me start off by saying that I live and breathe football, and I will, to my dying day, be a diehard New England Patriots fan, which, I might get some backlash from some of you out there. But, I have my poster. Let me see. I got my poster right there, showing the toughness of the group there. I got a couple of hats. I got just a regular hat right here, 2007 conference champion. Whoops, put that back up on there. And then I got the latest sideline gear. It's probably my favorite out of the three. Um, Moving over to the other wall, I got the maestro, Mr. Tom Brady, doing his thing right there, mid throw. Then I got Wes Welker over here. Let me get a better shot of Tom right there without the cord in the way. There you go. Now you can really see the seriousness. And yeah, like I was saying, Wes Welker getting paid 9.5 mil now, so that's 9.5 million reasons not to drop a pass in the Super Bowl again. So But the main subject I wanted to talk about was why I believe personally that football is the best sport in America right now. And I love all sports. I am an athlete, or I was an athlete. I did played football in high school. I ran track until I had the misfortune to tear both of my ACLs, not at the same time, but in succession with one another. And it didn't. It kind of put a damper on my participation in sports, but my love for them is still there, and I still love to watch, and I can still run and do stuff like that. But I just kind of am just a little bit less aggressive with it now. But one of the reasons I think that football is the best sport in America is clearly because of the playoff system. One thing that I love about coming home for the summer from school is that the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs are usually being played at the exact same time, and the finals usually come. I can watch, I can switch over from the hockey game to the basketball game sometimes. But the thing that I kind of never really understood or liked about both systems, the same thing with baseball, is that they get 7 games, 5 games for baseball in the NL and ALCS, but then 7 for the World Series. I just never understood why they have to play so many games. But it's one reason why I think that football is the better sport is because the playoffs are 3 games. There'd be the divisional round, or it'd be 4 if you count the wild card, but then you have the divisional round, the conference championships, and then the Super Bowl. And it's 3 games, but I mean it's one shot to really, especially when it comes down to the Super Bowl, which is really the final. They get 1 game to win, and I think that's what really separates the true elite athletes from some of the other sports. I'm not saying that hockey players and basketball players and baseball players are weak. I'm just saying with football, the fact that they get one chance to win kind of just it sets them apart because they don't get another chance after that aside from next season, but they have to perform there. And we've seen some amazing performances like from Mr. Tom Brady, but we've also seen just people just not show up into the game, and or whole teams for that matter. And which I guess is kind of the counter argument to that is that if you get a one-sided game, how fun is that to watch? Like it happens so many times with the Niners and everything like that. And I agree with that too. I don't like watching blowouts either. But that there you go, right there. It's the same thing. It's the better athletes that are winning. But and that brings me to another kind of interesting point though. One thing I I I don't like baseball. I'm sorry. I can't watch it. It just to me it's just very 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 dull, and you really don't get that many exciting games. I remember I think it was this past World Series where the Cardinals won. I think it was Game 5 or 6 where they came back and from some crazy deficit. It was definitely the most exciting baseball game that I had the pleasure of seeing. Aside from when my high school went to the California State Championship. A couple years ago when I was a freshman or sophomore. I can't remember, but that was a great game too because it was scoreless the entire time. My team ended up losing, but it was very exciting because it went into extra innings. That was another thing that was an exciting game, but it went to about 11 or 12 innings, and I was definitely getting bored of being there. So at the same time, it was exciting, but I still didn't like the fact that it was going for so long. But one thing about baseball I think that I think separates a lot of the from the other sports is the steroid use. And I've that's one reason I don't like the sport either, is that every single year it just seems that somebody else is or the same people are just getting caught for drugs that they are banned in the sport. And I understand that the list of drugs that and supplements that the players in baseball cannot use is extensive. It is fucking huge. So I can understand if they make mistakes, they didn't know that they couldn't take some kind of supplement. I guess I can give them benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, it's happening with so many different players. It's hard to believe that not no all these people can have the knowledge of the drugs that they're not supposed to take. And at the same time, I don't feel for them because they're stupid. I think I can't was it Ryan Braun or something, the MVP of the Major League Baseball, he got caught using steroids, and that just blew me away, because this guy obviously isn't the most valuable player. And it just, like I said, it just seems like every single year it's just more and more people, like Barry Bonds. Like it was so obvious that that guy was taking steroids. No, I'm not hating on the Giants or Barry Bonds or anything. I'm just saying, the guy wasn't hitting homers like he was. It didn't make sense. He was getting older, and he was getting way fucking bigger, and then just hitting way more home runs than he was early on in his career when he should have been in his prime. So the evidence is there, and it just kind of it kind of puts a damper on it for me, because like you can argue to I can even say it would probably make more sense for football players to use steroids, and hockey players for that matter, because when you think about it, baseball, it's not a very physical sport. You hit a ball, yeah, and it requires endurance. It does require strength, but it's different. You're not hitting the other players with your body. You're not slamming into them or getting hit by them every single play. Which isn't the same for hockey players, but they do fucking they allow fistfights in that sport. So it's you can't really argue with that. And but with football, you have guys just running into each other and getting hit, and it would make a lot more sense for them to take steroids because they need to be tougher. But at the same time, why aren't we getting as many news stories about football players coming out and using illegal substances, or banned substances, I mean. And yeah, that's really all I had to say about that. As far as hockey goes, I'm not the biggest hockey fan. I have been getting into it more and more recently these past couple years. Um, Being from LA, there was always the Kings and everything, and we have the legacy of Wayne Gretzky, and we have a great legacy, and it's great to see them doing so well right now. Like I said, I'm not a Kings fan, but it is pretty cool to see them. It's really cool. We got a lot of good LA stuff going on right now. We got both teams in the playoffs right now. LA Clippers. I don't know where they're coming from, but they clinched it out against Memphis, and now they're gonna go on to the second round, and it's just pretty cool. It would be pretty interesting to see what happens if both either the Lakers or the Clippers and the hockey team, the Kings, can each win their respective championships. So it'd be cool. I might be making a trip down to the city for some of those parades or something, but yeah, that's I'm really getting into the sport. It's very fun to watch. The low scoring thing is definitely one of the things that kept me from it for a long time. And but at the same time, the game is such a fast pace. It's not like soccer where it's they're running and everything, but the game still moves at kind of a slow pace. It was with hockey, it's just a high adrenaline thing. And if you do happen to get a high scoring game with both teams scoring, or one team just going off, it's fun to watch a goal. So and it's I've definitely becoming a bigger fan of that sport, and definitely trying to learn the rules. I'm getting better at it, but I still need a little help with that. But yeah, that's really all I had to talk about today. I was just in a very big sports mood, thinking about football and everything, and then, like I said, watching the Stanley Cup and the playoffs, NBA playoffs. So, yeah, that's all I really had to talk about today. So leave some comments down below, and I'll see you next time.